Hey everybody, it's Michael here from Replica Airguns with another indoor field test shooting video here in the C-Can, the airgun shooting range C-Can. And I have never done an actual video for you guys for this Umarex Magnum Research Desert Eagle. It's a pellet shooting blowback pistol. It's not in production anymore. I don't just review guns that we sell. I think this was in our store a long time ago. This gun is over 10 years old. I think the first video I ever made on it was back in 2010. I did a tabletop video in December, and then shortly after I did a chronograph video. So I do have that, and I do have a tabletop video. I'll put links in the description, but I don't have an actual accuracy test for this gun. And this gun, from what I remember, was very accurate, had good feet per second, up in the 450 with a decent grain pellets, lead pellets. Really loud gun, not as loud as a rimfire, but pretty loud for a pellet pistol for sure. You don't get a lot of shots per CO2. It's pumping out a lot. Watch those videos anyways. I'm going to compare it to some newer products just to get a comparison, old versus new. Stuff we do have for sale, like the Sig Sauer M17, and then we have the Umarex SA10. So we've got stuff from Sig, we've got stuff from Umarex, two guns from Umarex, mind you, and all pellet shooters, all blowback, obviously old versus new. So we're going to test out the chronograph first and see what we get. I am shooting, I'm using 6.9 grain lead pellets in all of these guns for all of this testing with brand new CO2. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're off a safe. Just gonna pull that back. They're all loaded up. So let's see what we get in terms of .458, wasn't lying. Duplicate .458. 451, 439, we'll do one more, 434. So we're gonna average that out for you guys and see what we get. Put that back down, be careful, it's all loaded up. Let's move right on to the SIG, and we've got the M17. Okay, we're basically shooting these in single action because I am cocking the hammers back, or at least cycling them once, but there is usually a little bit of trigger pull that engages that magazine, makes it rotate. So let's do this one first. 307, 310, 285, slowing down already, 286, 279. So slowing down a wee bit there. We'll put that one back. All right, let's try the SA10. See what we get here with this guy. This might be a little faster. 370, 365, 374, 365, one more. So we'll average all of those out. Obviously, the Desert Eagle, the Umarex Magnum Research Desert Eagle, right up in the 450, probably averaged 440. Again, using 6.9 grain lead pellets. That's decent power for a blowback pellet pistol all day long. Then we had, next was the SA10, getting into 350, 360, 370 range. And then the Sig Sauer, a little bit lower, shooting somewhere in the 300s and just under. So let's see how accurate they are now. Let's see if we can get some decent performance out of the Desert Eagle. Turn that red dot off. All right, I'll set up some paper targets and we'll find out what happens. Got a fresh paper target set up. We're gonna switch them out obviously with each gun. We'll take a look before we do that. Get up there and take a look. Really excited to see how this performs. I remember it doing really well. Obviously I have a red dot on here. That's gonna help a little bit versus using open sights, but it is what it is. So I better get better accuracy with this one. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get some decent shots. I remember this thing being pretty damn good. That almost jammed. Yeah, we got a little jam. Oh, it opened up for some reason. Not really sure why. We will pop a new one in there. Something happened. Okay. Okay, we're good. So we're gonna hit 9 rounds instead of 8. That's okay. I think that's it. That's it. Okay. So I'm trying to get 9 rounds, 9 rounds here. It was supposed to be 8 rounds for each gun. Because we had that jam up after the first shot, we're just going to keep it at that. Let's bring this up, take a look, make some comments. Yeah, I mean, really, there was that one flyer there. Let's pretend that's the 9th round. We'll discount that because I want to give this gun as much credit as possible. Pretty darn good. You can see here, that's a 1-inch group. We'll throw away we'll do that with all these guns. We'll just throw away the one that kind of got away on us a little bit. Just call that human error. Obviously, this gun's capable of shooting 1-inch groups, maybe even tighter. If I got rid of this one here, we even have a tighter group, like 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. So let's switch out this paper target. We'll just actually switch it out so that we don't. So I have the other one to reflect back on if I want to here. And let's do this again. Okay, next gun. Well, we might as well do it in the same order. I've got a whole mag here. I have 20 rounds total, and I think we might have done 5 rounds. So we'll count these out because we're going to have about 8 rounds or so. Let's do this. Okay, let's take a look. Bring it up. Yeah, not as good, huh? You know, the thing with this SIG is I can tell, and you notice that when I did the chronograph test, it went from, 300 or so down to like 270 pretty quickly. So it seems to want to, that's why you're seeing this up and down things, is I think as they slow down, they come down. I'll have to see if the first few shots were higher, if the last few were lower, I don't know. We'll throw that one out just because we're throwing out that oddball. But there's a couple here, it looks like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to have to count this. So that's more like just over a 2-inch group. Too bad we didn't get them all in here. That'd be closer to a 1-inch. But it is what it is. So far the Desert Eagle is by far in the lead in terms of power and accuracy. One more gun to get through here. Yeah, we're still pretty good there. Okay, let's get through this and see what the final result is. So, are we going to have this SA I want to say SA-177, the old Glock-looking Umarex back in the day. This is the SA-10. That's a whole different gun. You can't get that one either from Umarex, neither with the Desert Eagle. All right, so let's see if we can get a decent grouping. This one was second in terms of power. Okay, honestly, the SA-10 has a nicer trigger than the SIG. The SIG has definitely got a heavier trigger. The Umarex Desert Eagle, pretty close to these two both had decent triggers, but I'm going to maybe say the SA-10 is the nicest trigger out of all of them. Let's just take a quick look and see what we did here. Okay, as I said, I'll throw out this oddball here. We'll throw that guy out, and that's about a 1.5-inch group. So that circle is 1.5 inches, and we were just on the inside there and just on the outside there. So that's the furthest one away from there. And so that's about 1.5 inches. So this guy came in second place. And the SA-10 came in second place in terms of power and accuracy, with the Desert Eagle obviously getting first with that like 450 feet per second and about a 1-inch group. This guy got about, mid 300s, 360 with a good 1.5-inch group, respectable. And then the SIG Sauer, I would have liked to seen a little bit more power and a little tighter grouping from that guy. But I just make these tests. I just perform with these guns. I do the best I can and let the gun, really demonstrate what it's capable of at the end of the day. So that's it. Thanks for watching another replica airguns video. Check out my other videos for all of these guns. I'll put links in the description. I'll probably put some little guys at the end of this video. You're probably watching that right now. that you can click on, but most of that will be for the Desert Eagle, because the Desert Eagle is the highlight of this video. I did want to get an actual accuracy test in for you guys, since I'd never done that one. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Also check out our Canada and US online stores at replicateairguns.ca and replicateairguns.us, where you have air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.